What's up guys, I'm Vocal Strike and welcome back to another episode of Let's Play Yu-Gi-Oh! Legacy of the Duelist Link Evolution. Last time we completed the GX story, and this time we are going to go into the 5D's story. But before we do that, there is some things I kind of glossed over in the GX playthrough. For starters, like all of the other shows that are in this game, all the other eras, GX is dubbed. However, it was not dubbed fully. It was dubbed from start to finish, all the way up to the end of Yubel. That is where the dub ends. It is not the canon ending, of course, but that is where the dub ends. However, there is an entire other season that was never dubbed at all. And that season is where Night Shroud is the main enemy. So if you are going to watch Yu-Gi-Oh! GX and you are a dub loyalist like myself, you are going to be watching, I believe, 3 seasons of Yu-Gi-Oh! GX entirely dubbed, and then you're going to be watching the final season subbed anyway. So, like, the duel with Night Shroud and against Yugi are only in the subbed episodes of the anime. They were never ever dubbed. We never really got any reasons why they're dubbed. There are a couple theories, though, like the final season was a little too dark, and it actually does get dark at times. Or 5D's was coming around, so they wanted to focus on that, so they dropped GX altogether, etc. We don't really know. It's all just a bunch of theories and guesses. And one final thing is that I did mention the Planet Series cards like Elemental Hero Terra Firma during the finale episode of the GX story. In the anime, where is he? Aster Phoenix's father created the Destiny Hero cards. However, in the manga, he did not create the Destiny Heroes. As a matter of fact, the Destiny Heroes are nowhere in the manga. Instead, he created a set of one-of-a-kind cards known as the Legendary Planet cards, or the Planet Series cards, as they are known in Japan. And at least some of these cards actually did get an official release. The Planet Series cards were one-of-a-kind cards that, along with Winged Karibo, was actually needed in order to free Tragodia from his prison, from the stone slab. Tragodia basically possessed Aster Phoenix's father. Aster Phoenix didn't know at the time. Created the Planet Series cards, then later killed him when he outlived his usefulness, and then possessed the the principal of the American Duel Academy. The Planet Series cards are the Big Saturn, the Blazing Mars, the Despair Uranus, Elemental Hero Terra Firma, the Grand Jupiter, Splendid Venus, the Suppression Pluto, the Supremacy Sun, the Tripper Mercury, and the Tyrant Neptune. And each one does have its own effects. I'm not going to say them all because that would actually be a lot to cover. So, I believe with that is everything I could probably cover without getting too much spoilers from the GX era. So let's move on to the next era, Yu-Gi-Oh! 5D's. Ready, set, duel! Now loading 5D's histories. Duelists young and old, professional and amateur alike. It's the moment you've been waiting for. Welcome to New Domino City, home of turbo dueling. I believe it's known as Neo Domino City in the Japanese version as well as the manga. And I did read all of 5D's manga before starting this time, so we should be good. Turbo duels are a new form of dueling that takes place on motorcycles called Duel Runners. In the Japanese version, they are known as D-Wheels. However, our story does not begin in New Domino City. We join our hero Yusei Fudo in the poorer outskirts known as Satellite. Yusei was wronged by the undefeated turbo dueling champion Jack Atlas. The two were once friends, but Jack stole Yusei's two most prized possessions, the Stardust Dragon card and his custom Duel Runner. Jack left Satellite and became the turbo dueling champion of New Domino City. Yusei wanted to confront Jack, but unfortunately Sector Security kept getting in his way. Yusei's friend Riley found a Skylon 30 acceleration chip. Yusei needed this chip badly for the new Duel Runner he was building. Yusei, hey Yusei, check this out. It's a Skylon 30 acceleration chip. Aren't those incredibly expensive? Don't tell me you stole this. I didn't steal nothing. It was just lying on the ground in broad daylight. Okay, thanks. This was just what I needed. I knew you'd like it. Will it make your Duel Runner faster? Absolutely. Unfortunately, Sector Security had tracked Riley and quickly closed in on Yusei and his friends. That chip was a trap. It had a tracker on it. And that's what they were using to go after Yusei. So they always had eyes on Yusei, will always have eyes on Yusei's Duel Runner, and it would force him into a turbo duel, which we will be getting into shortly. So it was up to Yusei to confront Sector Security and get his friends out of trouble. I knew I should have locked you up when you were a kid. Looks like I finally get my wish. Tetsu Trudge. If anyone has seen the Season 0 anime or has read the original Yu-Gi-Oh manga, he may look slightly familiar. He looks like the bully in Yami Yugi's first Shadow Game victim, named Ushio. I could be totally butchering that name and I apologize. There really is no confirmation that they are the same person. It could very well be possible, considering that this does take place several years into the future, so Ushio could have become an adult, finally left the Shadow Realm, because keep in mind, Yami Yugi at the time didn't really kill or imprison anyone permanently. They are able to break free of it given enough time. So it was never really a permanent punishment. It was more like just enough to kind of, to get the point across. You know, kind of like a timeout, just a lot more severe. I think it is theorized that they are the same person, that Trudge and Ushio is the same person, just Trudge is grown up while Ushio was a high school student. However, the manga is not canon towards the anime, and Trudge does actually appear in the manga. He just doesn't appear as, like, you know, as, like, a thorn in Yusei's side, like in this case. But Season 0 is also not canon towards any of the anime series at all either, so it's kind of up in the air. I believe there is a theory going around that Trudge and Ushio are the same person, but because Season 0 and the mangas are not canon to the rest of the anime series, that theory doesn't really have a lot of weight to it. Are you going to make this easy and come along quietly? I will, if you can beat me. You've got yourself a deal, fool. Tetsu Trudge uses a unique set of cards. It's not really an archetype, but his ace monster is called the Goyo Guardian. For this lesson, I'll explain Synchro monsters and how to Synchro summon them. First, let's go over what Synchro monsters are. Synchro monsters are monster cards with white frames. Like fusion monsters, you keep them in your extra deck. To summon a Synchro monster, you need a tuner monster and one or more non-tuner monsters. A tuner monster has tuner in the monster type. I mentioned these back in the Duel Monster era playthrough, and I did say we would get into these later. This is now later. All other monsters are non-tuner monsters. To synchro summon a synchro monster, you need at least one tuner monster and one or more non-tuner monsters on the field as synchro material. The combined level of the monsters used as synchro material must be equal to the level of the synchro monster you want to summon. Take note that a monster must be face up to use it as synchro material. In the main phase, send the synchro material to the graveyard to special summon the synchro monster from your extra deck. This is called a synchro summon. But you always need a tuner to synchro summon. First, let's put a monster into play and protect it. Set Speed Warrior in defense position. It's not letting me. Now set Magic Cylinder. Still can't search. That is all we can do right now. Let's end our turn. Okay, now I can see. Okay, so we have Nitro Warrior and Junk Warrior. Even though it says you need one tuner and one or more non-tuner, that is the case with most synchro monsters. Most synchro monsters require any one tuner and any one or more non-tuner monsters. There are exceptions to these cards, however. For example, Junk Warrior here requires Junk Synchron and one or more non-tuner monster, which means we have to use that named monster. Some Synchro monsters may ask for certain types of monsters. Some Synchro monsters may ask for certain attributes. Others may call for more than one non-tuner or tuner. And others, like Junk Warrior, may call for very specifically named cards. But the rulings on how to synchro summon remain the same throughout. So for instance, if we want to synchro summon Junk Warrior here, we do need one or more non-tuner, but this also requires Junk Synchron. Junk Synchron is level 3, as you can see down here. And we do have a couple level 2s. However, because Nitro Synchron is a tuner monster, we cannot use him to synchro summon Junk Warrior. That will not work. You need non-tuners. So, to synchro summon Junk Warrior, we need the level 3 Junk Synchron and either a level 2 non-tuner monster or 2 level 1 non-tuner monsters. Since 2 plus 3 equals 5. If the total levels go over or under, even by 1 level, to synchro summon a monster, you cannot synchro summon that card. Oh, whoops. So, if we try to use Junk Synchron with a level 3 monster, we can't synchro summon Junk Warrior because 3 plus 3 is 6, not 5. Montage Dragon. Ooh. Cannot be normal summoned or set. Must be special summoned from your hand by sending 3 other monsters from your hand to the graveyard and cannot be special summoned by other ways. This card's attack becomes the combined original levels of the sent monsters times 300. Yeah, the Synchro era really does kind of lean heavily on levels. And he did want us to activate Magic Cylinder. Because we don't want to lose... We need more Synchro material in order to perform a Synchro summon. Let's start by special summoning the Tricky. Special summon the Tricky card by discarding your Nitro Synchron. Monsters need to be face up to Synchro summon. Change Speed Warrior to attack position by choosing Flip Summon from the menu. Now let's get a couple tuner monsters in play. Summon Junk Synchron in a tap position. You can see here that Junk Synchron will allow you to special summon a monster from your graveyard. Activate the effect of Junk Synchron and special summon your Nitro Synchron. See the effect on your extra deck? We now have the materials available to perform a Synchro summon. Choose the level 5 Junk Warrior to Synchro summon. Now select the cards you sent to the graveyard. The number of stars shown will let you know when the conditions needed to summon the Synchro monster are met. 3 plus 2 equals 5. So we can Synchro summon the level 5 Junk Warrior. Nice job. Now let's try Synchro summoning again. Choose the level summon Nitro Warrior to Synchro summon. 2 plus 5. Oh, it wants me to use Junk Warrior. Okay. Equals 7. I was going to use the Tricky. Let's play the spell card Boost to boost our Nitro Warrior and bring Junk Warrior back to the field. That was Nitro Synchron's special ability. Okay, now let's finish him off. If this card is sent to the graveyard for the Synchro summon of a Nitro Synchro monster, draw 1 card. This would be great if there were more than one Nitro Synchro monster. There isn't. There is only one Nitro Synchro monster, and that is Nitro Warrior. They probably plan to make more Nitro Synchro monsters, but they decided not to do it, I guess. Kind of makes Nitro Synchron a bit of a bad +1 card. It's time to attack with your Synchro Summon monsters. Due to Nitro Warrior's effect, we use the spell card so he gains 1,000 more tap points to wipe him out. There goes my promotion. Guess I'm going back to being a Duel Runner meter maid. A blast from the past. In this one, I will be covering the special type of dueling that they do in the 5D's era. Yusei escaped Trudge and the others set their security forces, making his way into New Domino City. There, he came face to face with his rival Jack Atlas. Jack has stolen Yusei's ace card, Stardust Dragon. Using Stardust Dragon, Jack was able to escape Satellite and establish himself as the undefeated Turbo Dueling champion of New Domino City. Welcome to the Kaiba Dome. This Duel Dome is impressive, isn't it? Television just doesn't do it justice. Now imagine it filled with thousands of adoring fans chanting your name and cheering you on. But that's something you're never going to experience, you say. Because after this duel, the only people cheering you on will be your loser friends back in the Satellite. And that's if they don't all turn their backs on you once you return without their Stardust Dragon. Huh? You're going to regret ever coming here because I'm going to beat you with your own card. Jack actually tried to give Yusei back his dragon, since he didn't need it anymore. However, Yusei wanted to win it in a duel. In the anime, Yusei's ace card is the Stardust Dragon, which we are going to be, which I don't know if it's actually in here. Is it? No, it is not. Okay, so Jack has the Stardust. Yusei's ace monster is the Stardust Dragon. Which we are going to be seeing later in this which we are going to be seeing later in the story anyway. Jack's ace monster, which we will also be seeing later, is the Red Dragon Archfiend. But in the manga, they have completely different aces. Yusei's original ace, oh, speaking of Red Dragon Archfiend, there he is. Yusei's original ace in the manga is Lightning Warrior. But later on in the manga, he gets his real ace, the Stardust Spark Dragon, which is a light attribute level 8 dragon type synchro effect monster with 2,500 attack points and 2,000 defense points. Requires one tuner and one or more non-tuner monsters. Once per turn, quick effect. You can target one face-up card you control. Once during this turn, it cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. As you can tell, Yusei tends to use a bunch of weak monsters with interesting effects. This card is Synchro. It gains attack equal to the total attack of all level 2 or lower monsters you currently control. I should have flipped someone first. Yeah, I should have flipped someone first. Oops. And naturally, of course, Stardust and Red Dragon Archfiend. Both do have summoning animations. The Red Dragon Archfiend's original ability is this. It is a level 8 dark attribute dragon type synchro effect monster with 3,000 attack points and 2,000 defense points. Requires one tuner and one or more non-tuner monsters. After damage calculation, if this card attacked an opponent's defense position monster, destroy all defense position monsters your opponent controls. Once per turn during your end phase, destroy all other monsters you control that did not declare an attack this turn. This card must be face up on the field to activate and resolve this effect. So you're kind of forced to attack with Red Dragon Archfiend, as well as any other monster if you want to keep him around. But it also can wipe out the defensive line. This is Jack's dueling style between the manga and the anime. He uses overwhelming power. He is very much a power duelist, that he uses overwhelming sheer number and force. He wants to basically hit you as hard as he can, as fast as he can. Whereas in the manga, Jack's original ace was What was it called again? Something Highlander? Hold on, let me check really quick. Found it. It's called Dark Highlander. But his real ace is Hot Red Dragon Archfiend. Let's go ahead and stop that. And Hot Red Dragon Archfiend's effect is that it's a Dark Attribute level 8 Dragon type Synchro effect monster with 3,000 attack points and 2,000 defense points. Requires one tuner and one or more non-tuner monsters. Once per turn during your main phase 1, you can destroy all other face-up attack position monsters on the field. Monsters other than this card cannot attack the turn you activate this effect. Actually, that might give me enough. Since Jack's main tuner monsters in the anime are resonators. In the anime, he does his main tuner monsters are resonators, and he does kind of use like a mixture of like Twin Sword Marauder, Twin Shield Defender, Mad Archfiends. In the manga, though, he uses cards that has the words King and Lord in it. Damn. Can't do anything with Scrap Iron Scarecrow. Just a note, you cannot constantly keep using Scrap Iron Scarecrow. The official ruling of the card is that you can only use it once per turn. I'm gonna Secret Summon Junk Warrior anyway. So maybe I should bring out Nitro Synchron to bring back Nitro Warrior. Let's bring out Junk Warrior first. And then let's bring out Nitro Warrior. Because why not? Right, and its effect is not negated because, you know, its effect applies to the graveyard, not the field. Prideful Roar. I have 2 Scrap Iron Scarecrows. You can only use these once per turn because every time you use it, it sets itself back down. And you cannot use a card on the same turn that you set it. So officially, Scrap Iron Scarecrow can only be used once per turn. Which is why it's not banned and it's not entirely broken. I also said I would be covering the special form of dueling that exists in this in the 5D's universe. It is called Turbo Dueling, and essentially it's that you play the base card game on motorcycles. The rules are the exact same. Win and lose conditions are the exact same. Field is basically the same, except it doesn't have extra deck monsters because, well, sure, it's a waste of a spell card, but I can destroy Red Dragon Archfiend. The rules of Turbo Dueling are the same. Win and lose conditions are the same, except there was one extra lose condition from the manga. If your Duel Runner stops for any reason, you automatically lose the duel. In the anime, there is slight differences in terms of Turbo Dueling between the anime and the manga. In the anime, there is a field spell called the Speed World field spell, which later gets replaced by Speed World 2, which has effects. Ah, I only have junk synchron. At every standby phase, while you are driving your motorcycle, the Duel Runner, by the way, which I believe goes into autopilot mode for safety. Oh, this is not good. This is not good at all. We're at a stalemate. I need him to synchro summon something. Ice Dragon. Are you gonna synchro summon? No. Okay. Do all I have in here is Nitro Warrior. 3, 4, 5. Every standby phase you get what's known as a speed counter. And the speed counters are what's used to play speed spells. Oh, a Synchro summon, and it's the Stardust Dragon. So Stardust Dragon, there's Yusei's Ace. Is a level 8 Wind Attribute Dragon Synchro Effect monster with 2,500 attack points and 2,000 defense points. Requires one tuner and one or more non-tuner monsters. When a card or effect is activated that would destroy a card or cards on the field, quick effect, you contribute this card, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy it. During the end phase, if this effect was activated this turn and was not negated, you can special summon this card from your graveyard. What the speed counters were for was to play speed spells, not to be confused with speed dueling. And so in the Turbo Duel in the anime version of 5D's, you could not use regular spell cards. So you could not use normal spells, continuous spells, or anything like that. You had to use what was called a speed spell. And a speed spell could only be played so long as you paid the cost of X number of speed counters. The more speed counters you have, the faster your Duel Runner goes. And you can only have anywhere between 0 and I think like 10 or 12 speed counters. If you do not have the required number of speed counters to play a speed spell, you cannot play that speed spell. Otherwise, the speed spells act exactly like they do a regular spell card. However, you cannot use speed spells in a regular duel. As you could also probably guess, turbo dueling is also a little bit dangerous, considering that you are on a high-speed vehicle, and it is considered a race. Another win condition in the manga version is that you reach the finish line before your opponent, so it is still a race. So you are going at high speeds while playing a card game. So it is a bit dangerous, not gonna lie. In the manga version, however, there is no speed spells, there are no speed counters. The anime version does have regular dueling as well as turbo dueling, but the manga only has turbo dueling. Whew. Okay, so this is going to be a fairly long episode. Yusei and Jack's duel had summoned forth a massive flaming dragon. Everyone seemed shocked, except for one man, Rex Goodwin, the head of Sector Security. What is that? Is that a dragon? What kind of trick is this, Yusei? The mighty beast has emerged from its slumber. What's happening to my body? I've never seen this glowing mark on my arm before. It's showing that Yusei here has the head mark, but in reality he has the tail. This is the mark of the Crimson Dragon, which also technically didn't make it, wasn't used in the manga. Technically. What? I'm not the only one with a mark? So you know what this is, Jack. You do, don't you? Jack, say something. What's going on? You're in violation of Code 36B, which states that no residents of Satellite may enter New Domino City by order of the Social Maintenance Department. We are placing you under arrest. Do not try to run. We have you surrounded. Oh man, I got no escape. And even if I did manage to get away, I still don't know what that mark on my arm was. Okay, so that was a fairly long episode, but let's finish up what I talked about when it comes to turbo dueling. So yeah, turbo dueling is a bit dangerous. In the manga, they also added something that the anime doesn't cover. A thing called a sense. Now, I'm not talking about like a sixth sense or anything. It's kind of like, the best way I can kind of describe it is dueling energy. That dueling energy is used during a turbo duel, depending on a bunch of factors like speed, power of the monster, etc. And that sense, as it's called, is what actually makes turbo dueling even more dangerous, because the stronger the sense, the more real the monsters and the attacks and everything becomes. So turbo dueling in the manga slowly becomes a shadow game. So, and if your sense is strong enough, not only are you knocking the wind out of somebody like you're slugging them in the gut, but you could also actually cut them, hurt them, make them bleed a little, and even damage their Duel Runner. If the sense was especially strong, if the sense was especially strong, you could even destroy a person's Duel Runner and even outright kill somebody. In the case with, however, some turbo duelists actually have sense and are disciplined and skilled enough to actually kind of make up their own techniques. So like Yusei was able to solidify his sense into wings on his Duel Runner so that he could actually be able to fly and even cut through someone else's Duel Runner and actually cut them. Jack is actually able to absorb another person's dual sense to an extent, but he does later in the manga get his own set of sense wings. And I think with that, considering that was a long duel, in the next episode, we are going to go to the facility. Thanks so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications, and I will see you all in the next episode. Bye.